I think it's time for us to start to notice the beauty around us. Even when scuffs occur, oh dear, where we burn ourselves or get scratched by something. These are the things that we don't usually like to point out because then people can't help but notice them. And yet, if we won't talk about them, how they happened, what was going on, we can't help other people not go through the same thing. And you know what? When I was in high school, I was 15 and I sweat a lot because this machine works really fast, you know? I'm like pretty ripped, it's ridiculous, you know? And I don't even exercise, well, like I do my yoga, but like I'm ridiculously blessed. But these scars here were actually because I cut out, not myself, a surgeon took out diamond pieces of skin and then stitched them back together. And so I have big scars. I still sweat a lot because the whole body has sweat glands under it, not just the ones that are under your armpits. It's just, there's a concentrated amount there because you've got a whole bunch of skin that clumps up, right? So I don't, because I got mine cut out. And what I tell you is that the greatest salesman in the world are your limiting beliefs. Whatever part of you aspires to know your worth, because you understand the universal laws that allow you to attract based on energy and sacred contracts. Yeah, the artist's way means you can heal your own life. And having said all of that, as quickly as I did, in fact, I'll say that what I'm working on right now is a book that's handwritten. A handwritten book. Have you read one lately? Would you like to? Would you like to go through it with me? So that you don't mutilate yourself trying to get over an insecurity that just creates an insecurity and instability within the energetic body that is you. Please understand, the greatest salesman in the world started with the scroll-marked one. Today I begin a new life. Today I shed my old skin which hath too long suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity. Today I am born anew, and my birthplace is a vineyard where there is fruit for all, for fructus and usufruct are connected. They won't talk about that though. Today I will pluck grapes of wisdom from the tallest and fullest vines in the vineyard. For these were planted by the wisest of my profession, who have come before me generation upon generation. Today I will savor the taste of grapes from these vines, and verily I will swallow the seed of success buried in each, and new life will sprout within me. The career I have chosen is laden with opportunity, yet is fraught with heartbreak and despair, and the bodies of those who have failed, were they piled atop one another, would cast a shadow down upon all the pyramids of the earth. Yet I will not fail as the others from my hands, for in my hands I now hold the charts which will guide me through perilous waters to shores which only yesterday seemed but a dream. Failure no longer will be my payment for struggle. Just as nature made no provision for my body to tolerate pain, neither has it made any provision for my life to suffer failure. Failure, like pain, is an alien to my life. In the past I accepted it as I accepted pain. Now I reject it, and I am prepared for wisdom and principles which will guide me out of the shadows into the sunlight of wealth, position, and happiness, far beyond my most extravagant dreams, until even the golden apples in the garden of Hesperides will seem no more than my just reward. Time teaches all things to him who lives forever, but I have not the luxury of eternity. Yet within my allotted time, I must practice the art of patience, for nature acts never in haste. To create the olive, king of all trees, 100 years is required. An onion plant is old in 9 weeks. I have lived as an onion plant. It has not pleased me. Now, I wouldst become the greatest of olive trees, and in truth, the greatest of salesmen. And how will this be accomplished? For I have neither the knowledge nor experience to achieve greatness, and already I have stumbled in ignorance and fallen into pools of self-pity. The answer is simple. I will commence my journey unencumbered, while either the weight of unnecessary knowledge or the handicap of meaningless experience. Nature already has supplied me with knowledge and instinct far greater than any beast in the forest, and the value of experience is overrated, usually by old men who nod wisely and speak stupidly. In truth, experience teaches thoroughly, yet her course of instruction devours men's years, so the value of her lessons diminishes with the time necessary to acquire her special wisdom, unless we share it with one another. The end finds it wasted on dead men. Furthermore, experience is comparable to fashion. An action that proved successful today will be unworkable and impractical tomorrow. Only principles endure, and these I now possess, for the laws that will lead me to greatness are contained in the words of these scrolls. What they will teach me is more to prevent failure than to gain success. For what is success other than a state of mind? Which two, among 1,000 wise men, will define success in the same words? Yet failure is always described but one way. Failure is man's inability to reach his goals in life, whatever they may be. In truth, the only difference between those who have failed and those who have succeeded lies in the difference of their habits. Good habits are the key to all success. Bad habits are the unlocked door to failure. Thus the first law I will obey, which precedeth all others, is, I will form good habits and become their slave. As a child, I was slave to my impulses. Now I am slave to my habits, as are all grown men. I suffered my free will to the years of accumulated habits, and the past deeds of my life have already marked out a path which threatens to imprison my future. My actions are ruled by appetite, passion, prejudice, greed, love, fear, environment, habit, and the worst of these tyrants is habit. Therefore, if I must be a slave to habit, let me be a slave to good habits. My bad habits must be destroyed, and new furrows prepared for good seed. I will form good habits and become their slave. And how will I accomplish this difficult feat? Through these scrolls. It will be done, for each scroll contains a principle which will drive a bad habit from my life and replace it with one which will bring me closer to success. For it is another of nature's laws that only a habit can subdue another habit. So in order for these written words to perform their chosen task, I must discipline myself with the first of my new habits, which is as follows. I will read each scroll for 30 days in this prescribed manner before I proceed to the next scroll. First I will read the words in silence when I arise. Then I will read the words in silence after I have partaken of my midday meal. Last, I will read the words again just before I retire at day's end, and most important, on this occasion, I will read the words aloud. On the next day I will repeat this procedure, and I will continue in the like manner for 30 days. Then I will turn to the next scroll and repeat this procedure for another 30 days. I will continue in this manner until I have lived with each scroll for 30 days and my reading has become habit. And what will be accomplished with this habit? Herein lies the hidden secret of all man's accomplishments. As I repeat the words daily, they will soon become a part of my active mind, but more important, they will also seep into my other mind, my mysterious source which never sleeps, which creates my dreams and often makes me act in ways I do not comprehend. As the words of these scrolls are consumed by my mysterious mind, I will begin to awake each morning with a vitality I have never known before. My vigor will increase, my enthusiasm will rise, my desire to meet the world will overcome every fear I once knew at sunrise. And I will be happier than I ever believed it possible to be in this world of strife and sorrow. Eventually, I will find myself reacting to all situations which confront me as I was commanded in the scrolls to react, and soon these actions and reactions will perform easy. And soon these actions and reactions will become easy to perform. For any act with practice becomes easy. For any act with practice becomes easy. Thus, a new and good habit is born, for when an act becomes easy through constant repetition, it becomes a pleasure to perform, and if it is a pleasure to perform it, a man's nature to perform it often. And if it is a pleasure to perform, it is man's nature to perform it often. When I perform it often, it becomes a habit, and I become its slave, and since it is a good habit, this is my will. Today I begin a new life, and I make a solemn oath to myself that nothing will retard my new life's growth. I will lose not a day from these readings, for that day cannot be retrieved, nor can I substitute another for it. I must not, I will not, break this habit of daily reading from these scrolls, and in truth, the few moments spent each day on this new habit are but a small price to pay for the happiness and success that will be mine. As I read and reread the words in the scrolls to follow, never will I allow the brevity of each scroll nor the simplicity of its words to cause me to treat the scroll's message lightly. Thousands of grapes are pressed to fill one jar with wine, and the grape skin and pulp are tossed to the birds. So it is that these grapes of wisdom from the ages. So it is with these grapes of wisdom from the ages. Much has been filtered and tossed to the wind. Only the pure truth lies distilled in the words to come. I will drink as instructed and spill not a drop, and the seed of success I will swallow. Today my old skin has become as dust. I will walk tall among men, and they will know me not, for today I am a new man with a new life. The second scroll starts with, I will begin this day with love in my heart. And I will say that 20 years ago, I instructed the mutilation of my body, my natural temperature regulating coolant system. I messed with it just because I didn't know how it operated. And I didn't know that no one else did either. I didn't realize there wasn't a standard model of me built before. So I am the one that has to responsibly manage me. And so we can see ourselves to be the keepers of these temples that are our bodies. So why would we do any less with our body than our best? Why would we do that to ourselves, our soul that chose this one temple? Why would we choose to be less than we could be? To confuse ourselves with one aspect of us, when the truth is everything that has been will be again in another form. This has been reborn into this. Don't talk, act. Don't say, show. Don't promise, prove. Well, I am proven that I wrote my... Oh, you got the X and the Y. That is, X marks the spot, and Y is where you stay on the creditor side. I did bring in W for the water laws, though. And mentioned Alice in Wonderland, and the SMART acronyms as well, both specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound, as well as surveillance, monitored, analysis, reporting technology. Both SMARTs, different implications. This is talking about Hiro's prism and the infinity that weaves around the X, Y, and Z. So, this is the radio transmitter station message, and basically it means that you are sending out frequencies into the universe to be received by the creator of all, the grand overall designer, the creator of all that is. All that is includes all of us. Who doesn't that include? The answer is no one. because we are one. When we actually see that we are the players in the field of consciousness, we are here to be the conscious co-creators of lives we love because we love the lives that we have been given. It is time to start to really honor and nurture the life that we have. Our spirit chose this form. Why is it not more normal for us to honor it? Why do we need to criticize and make fun of or chastise ourselves for aspects of us when if we just learned to actually let the energy flow, well then we would be able to let go a lot of the extra that isn't really necessary except for it has been to keep us feeling safe. Why not move through the 66 days of transform? Why not move through the 66 days to transform your self-image program in segments? So we start with a 21-day challenge, and then we go to a 33-day challenge that is part of the 21. So one is a precursor to the other, and then you get smaller little acknowledgements of wins instead of having to wait the full 66 days that mark endings to a personal challenge. You have a chance to get support in reaching while you're in the club. In the club, which one? There's so many to choose from. Well, I believe that Peaceful Inner Warriors United is the new club that every club can invite their members to, so long as we choose to act honorably and in good faith. That we stop getting divided based on belief systems and instead come together and say our days are our life in miniature. What are we doing with ours? Our intention must be to counteract the toxic load poisoning events our personality has to publicly endure regularly by offering parts of our life, our team, our time, energy, effort, attention, and money, offering parts of that to creating the personality that our personal reality will reflect. It is time for us to not just want to create an image in our minds to live into and dress like, to act like, to present like. It's time for us to see that our personality is a reflection of our personal reality. Dr. Joe Dispenza says, so why not paint our world in vibrant colors that excite and delight us? This is just a little bit of what I have written. The lighthouse theory, I had a session with Susan Mann yesterday. I've hired her for a month, which is why I really need people to start sponsoring me through Patreon or to work with me at a deeper level, because I have been living in a contracted state, playing small, staying small, living small, as best as what I could for a really long time so that I could be here. And also, there are other reasons unconsciously, I am sure, as well. With that, I see the rose quartz pie stone, which is basically shaped like a donut or a toroidal field, which is connected to the Moonaki rites, which I actually received in April 2022 when I wrote my book in a month. I had reached out to Karina Cho about going through the Moonaki rites with her, and so we scheduled that for April, May, and I finished my book May 31st in the wee morning. So that was definitely profound because it really helped me shift, and this time I've hired Susan Mann to take me through a month process of energy integration. And yesterday's session, she actually brought up this because my body has been needing a workaround for all of this time, and energetically my body didn't know how to connect what had been interrupted. And so she's working on reintegrating that part, and now I'm telling you about it today with the pie stone in my hand that says, your toroidal field is your auric field. It's also how the energy centers within the body actually light up and activate to hold points energetically for us to be the center point of the apple that is like the core, which is why the heart is at the center of it all, and why it's great to be able to bring a pie stone with you when you are generally going about your business. I'm going to get myself a necklace to be able to put it on so that I can hang it right over top of my heart so no one even else has to see it. But I will get to. The heads and the tails, oh my god, yeah. So this here is one of the most controversial concepts that you will hear until it's more common. But basically, what I have done is the inner laws of human law, divine law, natural law, and eternal law that go inside of common law in terms of jurisdictions, which is the ability to apply those rules to that section or sphere and everything else that's inside of it, like the Russian dolls concept. That's what jurisdiction is, like Russian dolls. But basically, human law, divine law, natural law, and eternal law all build on one another and stem from St. Thomas Aquinas, who was able to read the works of Aristotle, who wrote categories that divides things into their sex or sections that they fit with most in order to create pairings. And that's where then we get the duality of the herrings. I don't know why the herrings had to come in, but animals do have different symbolism. So whatever is brought into your realm, you can decide if it resonates and means anything to you, and if you get curious, then do a little research into the symbolic meaning of the thing that piqued your interest, because chances are there's a message there for you. I want you to know that we're dealing with reptilian mind, the mammalian brain, the human brain, and God consciousness. So it is time for us to see the Wizard of Oz for what it is, and also the hierarchy of needs and the reactive and responsive cycle, which is actually what I call active choice point theory. So the center point is when we flip from the old script to the new one. If you're enjoying all of this, we're moving from the 3 triad sequence to the 4. And that's where we then become the holistic humans, the holy eye stick. The whole eye stick? Whole eye stick with liability, accountability, and responsibility for body, mind, spirit, and soul. The heart is where the soul is connected. Did you know? I talk about the court cards and the major arcana of the tarot. And so if friends shake hands, saying how do you do? Well, all I got to say is that I love you. So if you can do something for me today, look at you, yourself in the mirror, and please say I'm beautiful. When you look into your own eyes, because if you like what you see in me, you can find the same in you if you'll dare to say I love you anyway, even though you're imperfect. I wear my scars proudly to say don't do what I did. It messed my body up, my mind, emotions, and my auric field for 20 years unnecessarily, because it didn't stop me from sweating when my machine needs to cool. So now I can't cool myself the way I did, or would have if I hadn't of went after the thing I was told would be a quick fix. Well, fuck, that was not true, and the same is true of my implanto. I got one in my gums, not in here. These are natural, and I'm grateful and wonder if they'll ever be used isn't young, but it isn't old in the scheme of how old we can become, how lived we can be if we see our lives as the canvas of creativity. The greatest salesman, my old Mandina, was what you are today. The scroll marked 2 comes next if you tune in again tomorrow when I will be wearing more. But I do hope you took away the lesson from me to say, don't fucking do it. Seriously though, like, if you actually were to get your sweatbands removed, imagine all that would come out of that in terms of the loss of skin for what purpose. Because now, if you want to be a bodybuilder, not that I'd ever intended to be, nor do I want to be, just to clarify, but like, I have a body that is good for modeling, I think, because of the tonality of me, or how toned I am. And yet, because of my sweat glands, it's not as appealing. You know what I mean? The cat meows. Let me know he's back. Hello! Okay, so would love to know what this message means to you, for you, what you're gonna do with it, and if you would like to know what's on all of these papers, well, then give me a jingle and let me know. Lord J, namaste, namago, leave a comment down below.